The hex symbolic hit a record-breaking high of 55 cents on the 16th of November 2021. In the span of 7 months, nonetheless, it had plunged to a low of 2 cents on the 18th of June 2022. We should figure out more and investigate a portion of the hex cost expectations that were being made starting around the 21st of November 2022. What is hex? Schuler, otherwise called Richard Hart, is a sequential business visionary, creator, YouTube character, donor, and the pioneer behind the Pulse Chain organization, for which he raised more than $27 for clinical exploration. As per Hex's true site, the undertaking is intended to turn into the primary testament of store in the cryptographic money world. In conventional banking, a CD is an item that yields a return marginally higher than the typical bank account for the client, after the client consents to secure the contributed assets for a proper period. A hex compact disk works similarly as in customary banking, since it pays a revisitation of financial backers who choose to secure their hex possessions for a set period, going from 1 day to quite a while. Hex professes to follow a proof of standby convention that doesn't need the interest of excavators. All things being equal, financial backers mint new coins by holding hex during the concurred holding time frame. When the holding time frame reaches a conclusion, the hex brilliant agreement is intended to make new coins to take care of the holder, who then turns into an excavator in this specific environment. Hex is a Layer 2 application based on top of the Ethereum organization and controlled by a brilliant agreement that manages how tokens are printed and disseminated to financial backers. Right now, Hex offers a typical yearly rate yield of 40%, contingent upon the length of the holding time frame. Hex Digital Money Security Review. Is it protected to put resources into Hex? Since its beginning in 2019, Hex has been encircled by inquiries regardless of whether the venture is protected and whether it is a trick. Cynics highlighted the Hex pioneer's experience. Hart purportedly partook in unlawful exercises back in 2002, including an infringement of U.S. spam regulations. Nonetheless, in December 2019, the Hex Brilliant Agreement went through a security review by CoinFabric. As indicated by CoinFabric's report, no basic security issues were found. CoinFabric uncovered a few minor issues, including replay signature with changed boundaries and unreasonable gas for calculation, which were tended to by the Hex group. The reviewer affirmed that the Hex agreements and robustness were elegantly composed and appropriately reported. Hex Principal Investigation. There are some gamble elements to consider while assessing the future assumptions for Hex digital currency scam contention. Hex tended to charges of being a trick or even a Ponzi plot in an exceptional trick segment on its site. No different either way, the degree of discussion is high, and we propose you direct your own extremely intensive exploration prior to confiding in a Hex crypto cost forecast. Availability. Hex crypto is accessible on around 20 digital money trades, yet it isn't recorded on any of the world's biggest trades. It merits thinking about this variable, as more modest trades will generally be more alluring focuses for hacking assaults. The project depends fundamentally on its believability. On the off chance that the venture loses believability, the cost of Hex can fall. The justification for this is that an enormous volume of tokens would need to be given to take care of current CD holders. This would build the symbolic stockpile decisively, which would bring about a cost drop, as the whole among organic market would be very high. As per examiner Mikhail Karkalov, the Hex undertaking is a sensible continuation of the improvement of the DeFi area in the crypto market. The longing to dispose of the agent as the financial framework is advancing, he said, following the capacity to make cross-line P2P exchanges and to take advances got by digital forms of money. Presently we have the likelihood to open stores at exorbitant loan costs without being associated with Ponzi plans. This is for sure advancement, and I would try and agree that an upset in the financial framework, dissimilar to a bank, which offers marginally higher financing costs on time stores than standard stores that scarcely cover expansion. DeFi projects like Hex proposition the valuable chance to procure more without being a mediator and benefit producer like a bank. That's what Karkalov said, marking is quite possibly of the most beneficial interest in the cryptographic money market today. In any case, he featured the need of considering the dangers of Hex, brilliant agreement blunders and leave tricks. Hex cost history. While past execution ought to never be taken as a mark of future outcomes, knowing Hex's cost history can assist with giving us some specific circumstance to either decipher a Hex cost forecast or, more than likely, make one of our own. At the point when Hex went onto the open market in late 2019, it was worth around $0. It floated around that level for the following year or somewhere in the vicinity. Yet the market turned bullish in mid-2021 and saw the symbolics worth top 6 cents toward the beginning of May. While there was something of a slump from that point forward, Hex resisted the market by developing all through the mid-year, getting through the 10 cents hindrance in July and moving upwards to a high of somewhat more than 48 cents on the 18th of September 2021. From that point forward, another slump was switched when it hit an untouched high of 55 cents on the 16th of November 2021, preceding it at last tumbled to close the year at 28 cents. Up to this point, 2022 has been an unfortunate year for the generally crypto market. The HEX token, comparably, has shown a prominent downfall, with the nadir arriving in a low of 2 cents on the 18th of June. From that point forward, there has been some sluggish, stopping recuperation, and on the 21st of November 2022 the symbolics cost remained at around 2 cents. Around then, there were a little more than 173 billion HEX available for use out of an all-out supply of somewhat over 633.5 billion. This gave the token a market cap of around $4.9 billion, making it the 202nd biggest crypto by that measurement. HEX cost forecasts. We should investigate a portion of the HEX cost expectations that were being made starting around the 21st of November 2022, remembering that cost estimates, particularly for something as possibly unpredictable as cryptographic money, are many times wrong. Long-haul crypto value expectations are in many cases made utilizing a calculation, and that implies they can change whenever. The HEX crypto cost forecast from Captain Altcoin recommended the token could be valued at 2 cents in December 2022, preceding recuperating fairly to 4 cents in November 2023. The site then proceeded to make a HEX cost expectation for 2025 that saw it possibly reach 6 cents. Be that as it may, the downbeat appraisal then returned, with the site recommending the coin might have fallen into insensibility by 2027, turning out to be actually useless. Indeed, even when the site made a HEX cost expectation for 2040, there was still no indication of a recuperation, implying that it figured HEX could be a dead coin. A HEX coin cost expectation from said it could reach 2 cents this prior year, moving to 12 cents in 2023. In 2024, the site said, the token could remain at somewhat more than 22 cents, before potentially coming to 36 cents in 2025. Recommended the token could reach 4 cents in 2023 and 6 cents in 2024. By 2025, the site contended that the crypto could be valued at 10 cents, prior to proceeding with its ascent throughout the years to potentially close the 10 years at around 48 cents. The site then made a HEX cost expectation for 2030 that demonstrated the token could hit 71 cents. Prior to coming to $1.04 the next year. At last, the HEX cost expectation for 2022 from accepted the cost could be 8 cents toward December's end. The site likewise allowed a 1-year forecast of 28 cents and a 5-year gauge of $1.97. While considering a HEX symbolic cost forecast, it is critical to remember that cryptographic money markets remain very unstable, making it challenging to precisely foresee what a coin or token's cost will be in a couple of hours, and, surprisingly, harder to give long-haul gauges. In that capacity, examiners and calculation-based forecasters can and do misunderstand their expectations. Assuming you are thinking about putting resources into digital currency tokens, we suggest that you generally do your own exploration.